Good evening. This is CBC Windsor News live at 6, and I'm Jason Vio. Thanks for joining us. Here's what's making news tonight. We're learning new details about the first all-electric Dodge vehicle. Those are being built in Windsor right now, but it won't be available for sale here right away. And there are some newcomers to Windsor who will be participating in their first Pride Festival this weekend. For some, being themselves back home could have resulted in some serious consequences. Plus, Windsor has a lot of Canada geese, and some have wondered, how can we control that population? One expert says, stop mowing the grass. They come from countries where they were forced to stay hidden. Now, for these Windsor residents, this Sunday's Pride Fest holds a very special meaning. It will be their first time openly participating in such an event that celebrates their identity. The CBC's Dalton Chen has more.
I want to look my best. I want the whole world to see it.
To trans woman Kyra Menende, life in Windsor is a night and day difference from her country of origin. The 24-year-old asylum seeker says she fled her native Tanzania more than 4 years ago due to discrimination. Now she's under the wing of the Queer and Trans Migrant Advocacy Alliance in Windsor, a group that helps newcomers who identify with the 2S LGBTQ+ community adjust to a society where they're finally free to be their true selves.
I've been presenting masc for a very long time, and now I present as woman, fully woman, pretty much everywhere I go. And it was hard. It was really hard because I had to really come.
Malaysia, managing director of the Alliance, says he speaks regularly with people who come from places where 2S LGBTQ+ identity is harshly punished, both socially and legally.
These are people that have to unlearn so much and relearn new things just for acceptance, just for inclusion, just wanting to belong in a community so that we do not continue facing persecution, xenophobia, transphobia, and all forms of phobias.
This queer asylum seeker from Nigeria says the oppression she fled makes her grateful to have found an accepting community in Windsor.
Because of family and belief, and in Africa it is not allowed. You are not allowed to do that. Right now in Nigeria it's 14 years imprisonment. And in some culture, like my own culture, the Igbo culture, they're going to kill you. But when you go for Pride, you see everybody's free, everybody feels come on, you're welcome. You express yourselves, and nobody's against you. So what are we talking about? I love Pride.
The Pride Fest parade takes place 11 a.m. Sunday on Ottawa Street between Argyle Road and Lansbury Park. Friends of the Alliance say they're looking forward to celebrating who they really are for all to see.
I can't honestly express how happy I am to be surrounded by my community, for the love and the acceptance that they've showed me.
It is an honor. I feel I wake up every morning, it's like I have a reason to live again.
Come on, you're going to see me. You're going to see me. You're going to say, oh, wow, that's Cherry.
Dalton Chen, CBC News, Windsor.
We're learning more about Dodge's first all-electric vehicle that is being built right here in Windsor. The Windsor assembly plant started production of the electric Dodge Charger just a few months ago, but according to Stellantis, the EV won't initially be available for purchase in Ontario, despite being built right here. The 2024 Dodge Charger Daytona will first hit dealerships in British Columbia and Quebec and only become available in other markets as production ramps up. The company also revealed the pricing for the new vehicle today. The starting price is just shy of $58,000 and $90,000 for the two models. Retirement got off to a devastating start for a longtime Windsor mechanic. Just 2 days after setting down his tools and officially closing his garage, Glenn Willis was rushed to hospital. His diagnosis is a suspected brain aneurysm. His best friend for decades spoke with CBC News about Willis and his recovery.
You're supposed to retire, and 2 days later you're in the hospital in intensive care. Life isn't fair. Saturday he threw a big party for the community. A thank you for supporting him over the years, him and Eileen, his wife. All the people that have been loyal customers to him all showed up and gave him a hug and would get him all flustered. And he absolutely loves South Windsor because they supported him for the last 34 years. Here he's supposed to retire and enjoy his life, and this is a big bump in the road right now. Monday around lunchtime, he got sick. We think it could have been possible aneurysm. Hopefully time is on our side. You know, he was found early, thank goodness, and they had him in the hospital within like 20 minutes of it happening. Life goes by, it's a fleeting glimpse, and the older you get, the faster it goes. So just enjoy your health now, enjoy your friends, family, just enjoy. We have to.
Canada geese may be a protected bird, but for some municipalities where they've taken roost, they're too much of a good thing. In fact, over the years, thousands of Canada geese have been rounding up and shipped from the Mississauga area to the Jack Miner Migratory Bird Sanctuary in Kingsville. Relocation is just one strategy to bring goose populations under control.
The city of Mississauga, we have collaborated with them to round up their urban goose populations during the molting season. And that's a 40-day period in which you can round them up and relocate them quite easily without separating the goslings from the adults. The city of Mississauga is seeing great success in this program. They have done it year after year, and they have consistently seen a decrease in their urban goose populations.
It varies every year. Assuming that I've been doing it for 5 years, I would say around 3,500 geese. When you're relocating, all you're doing is reducing the number of birds. So new ones, yes, come in from other areas. So there's always new birds being moved in, and there's also any birds that are left have a decoying effect on other birds that are just looking for new places to live. The numbers of geese are reduced in numbers. In the past years, we used to ship them outside of Canada, then within Canada to other provinces, but now it's just done within Ontario.
Besides physically shipping the geese to another location, there are ways to discourage the birds from settling in a community in the first place. One solution is simple: don't cut the grass.
Cities need to think critically, and they need to think responsibly about their management of green spaces. For example, the riverfront, which offers lots of mowed grass for the public to enjoy, that is food for geese. I wonder how much of the cut grass is truly utilized by the public. Along the riverfront, you've got lots of land that rests on a 45-degree angle, and you don't see a lot of people playing catch with their kids or setting up shop to enjoy the river along that hill. If you allowed some of those green spaces to go natural, not only would you discourage large populations of geese from setting up shop in those environments where they're going to see less cut grass, but also you're going to encourage natural predators to those areas that will discourage geese from nesting.
They like short grass. That's their preference, short, well-fertilized grass. Reducing the amount of grassed area and park like what I call sort of popsicle stick trees, where it's all green grass and a tree stuck in or a tree stuck there, but don't mow the grass to the water, but make large, wide areas to create a visual barrier of different types of natural vegetation along the shoreline, so that it increases the biodiversity in that park area for other types of birds and animals, not just for Canada geese. They have wildflowers, there's more butterflies, there's more frogs, there's more everything.
Time now for a quick look at your weather forecast. Chris Potter is off, so you'll have me tonight. Right now, sunny and around 25 degrees. Tonight, a clear sky and a low of 19 degrees. Here's a peek at your 5-day forecast. Tomorrow, a mainly cloudy sky. There is a 40% chance for showers late in the morning and into the afternoon. With it comes a risk for a thunderstorm. Friday, a mix of sun and cloud. There is a slight chance we'll see some showers there as well, a high of 26. And on Saturday, a sunny high of 23 degrees. Saturday is actually where the sunny stretch kicks off. On Sunday, we'll see some more sunshine, a high of 23 degrees. Monday, another sunny day with a high of 26 degrees. And on Sunday, sunny. Actually, sorry, that should say, I mixed that up. Anyway, a lot of sunshine coming up in the forecast Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and the temperature hovering around 26 degrees. Well, there are new insights into the potential long-term effects of last year's record-breaking wildfire season. A recent study finds that a significant amount of arsenic was released by the fires near Yellowknife. As Natalie Pressman tells us, some say it's a wake-up call.
From there to about the dock is where the mine site was.
Across from Morgan Setta's family home, a view of Yellowknife's legacy gold mine, Giant.
And so they just recently took a lot of the town site down. All of those houses were contaminated with arsenic.
Toxic waste from Giant's operation is being stored underground. More than 200,000 tons of arsenic trioxide. SETA says a recent study about last summer's wildfires caused new reason to worry.
I was extremely shocked when I first read this study.
It estimates that between 69 and 183 tons was released, about 20 to 50% of average global emissions each year.
We found that wildfire is a potent way for arsenic to be released into our atmosphere and our water.
The lead author says most is naturally occurring in the soil and bedrock, but that it's a warning for fire burning near any abandoned mine sites.
If there's a concerning amount of arsenic being released from the Yellowknife wildfire last year, then there must be other concerning emissions that are happening across Canada and across the world.
According to the World Health Organization, arsenic is associated with health problems like diabetes, cancer, and infant mortality.
John B. Zoe is a Cluchon citizen who's mapping harvesting sites for plants and animals. He wants to know what's happened to the arsenic now.
If there are places where contaminants are kind of like concentrated, maybe we should know so we can at least avoid those places.
SETA hopes the study will get wider attention.
This isn't just something that affects Yellowknife. It also affects people across Alberta and the prairie, like everywhere that there was an abandoned mine site.
The report's author says the research is preliminary and hopes other scientists and policymakers look closely at the risks of wildfires burning on contaminated land. Natalie Pressman, CBC News, Yellowknife.
Still to come here on CBC Windsor News Live at 6, there are some pretty hot potatoes in Alberta right now. We'll explain coming up after the break. We have a CBC News exclusive interview. For the first time since being charged with a string of sexual offenses, billionaire businessman Frank Stronach is answering our questions. He spoke with the Fifth Estate and responded to allegations brought by 10 people, including sexual assault, rape, and forcible confinement. One woman is sharing her story in detail, and it includes a description of sexual assault. Mark Kelly also spoke with the woman in a separate interview.
A defiant Frank Stronach arrived for the interview today, insisting he had nothing to fear, nothing to hide.
You ready?
I'm always ready.
One of the biggest issues you now are facing are very serious legal charges that have been leveled against you.
Yes.
Like 10 women, 13 charges, and you know the list: attempted rape, sexual assault, forcible confinement. These are very, very serious charges. You will be 92 next month. How do you respond to these charges?
Well, first of all, that's in front of a court. We have a lot of data which totally, will prove that those things are lies. But I feel sorry for the woman which makes those charges.
One of those women is now 65. We've agreed to conceal her identity for this interview because she hasn't shared her story with friends and colleagues. She says in 1980, Stronach bought her champagne in a bar, and she woke up later with him in an apartment.
I was lying on my back. I could see him lying on top of me. It was rape. It happened. It was happening to me. I saw it happening.
The woman we're calling Lee provided these photos. She was 20 years old at the time of the incident, a horse groomer for Stronach at one of his stables.
He took away my fire. I had let it fester for a really long time.
It took Lee 35 years, but in 2015 she filed a complaint with the Toronto Police Service and recorded an interview with 2 officers.
I never heard another word back from the police. Not a phone call, not an email, nothing.
But this spring, police in Peel Region, west of Toronto, did contact her. She's now one of the 10 complainants in the criminal case against Stronach.
You're not a free person unless you're economically free.
During the interview, Stronach went to lengths to talk about his philanthropy, his business accomplishments, and the sad state of Canada's economy, suggesting it could be a factor in the criminal case against him.
Women might say, look, maybe I could collect some money this way or that way, okay? It's poverty, it's poverty what the problem is.
Do you think that for some of these women that is their goal, to get money from you?
There's no question. It's quite clear. It's quite clear.
We've held it in for so long. I didn't even realize how many women this might have even happened to.
Mark Kelly, CBC News, Toronto.
British police are bracing for another night of violence. There has been a week of rioting fueled by online misinformation. There are concerns that anti-immigration groups plan to target dozens of locations across the country. Officials say some social media companies are letting far-right rhetoric fester on their platforms. Kayla Hounsell reports.
This is what it's come to, violence. But authorities say it was fueled by online disinformation. Last week, 3 children were killed in a knife attack at a dance class. Almost immediately, untrue information circulated online suggesting the alleged attacker was Muslim and an asylum seeker. That prompted days of nationwide violence by far-right groups. Police have arrested more than 400 people, including one who has pleaded guilty to using threatening words or behavior online to stir up racial hatred.
I'm now expecting substantive sentencing before the end of this week. That should send a very powerful message to anybody involved, either directly or online.
Elon Musk, owner of the social media platform X, shared this video purporting to show an arrest.
This is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page.
Is this Britain or the Soviet Union? Musk posted, also suggesting in a separate post, civil war is inevitable. Prime Minister Keir Starmer's spokesperson snapped back, saying there was no justification for Musk's comments and that there's more social media companies can and should be doing.
Well-connected individuals, lots of followers, they can change and drive a narrative in a moment. And that's certainly what we've seen happen over the past week.
As communities try to pick up the pieces, police are watching for further demonstrations in the coming days.
I am Muslim, and knowing that the mosques were under attack, the Muslim community was a target, that is hard.
The UK does have an Online Safety Act, which became law last year but has not yet fully come into effect. It requires social media companies to take robust action against illegal content, including inciting violence. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, London.
Baked, boiled, mashed, but especially fried. There's a growing appetite for Alberta potatoes, and farmers in that province are stepping up to the plate. The CBC's Paula Duhacek shows us what's driving that growth.
Canadians are crazy about French fries. Analysts say they're the most popular item at Canadian restaurants, and at this Calgary poutine shop, fries are made from potatoes grown right here in Alberta.
We would say that 100% we rely on the potatoes to be specifically locally sourced and the freshest that we possibly can.
Alberta's potato industry is on the rise. The number of acres grown up roughly 30% since 2019. Most of those potatoes destined to become French fries, hash browns, and potato chips. The potatoes are largely produced in the south, where sunny days and cool nights mean perfect growing conditions and where more young farmers are entering the field.
Where you might not see it in other parts of agriculture, but people are truly excited about coming back because they can see the opportunities in the potato industry.
Potatoes go into factories like this one, owned by McCain, and come out peeled, packaged, and ready to cook. The company is betting big on the future of Alberta potatoes, spending $600 million to double the size of this facility. But some caution, French fries aren't a foolproof investment, and young people aren't eating spuds the way they used to.
We're seeing a declining incidence rate among Gen Zs. And this is because of the shifting menu considerations. A lot of new ethnic cuisines coming out, and these don't necessarily pair with French fries.
Still, with more demand for potatoes coming from Asia, back in Taber, farmers believe there's growing opportunity in growing potatoes. Paula Duhacek, CBC News, Calgary.
Still to come, what's the atmosphere like at Club France during the Paris Olympics? We go inside to check it out next. Olympic organizers say nearly 10 million tickets to the Paris Games have been sold. That's a record in itself. And all the medals French athletes are piling up have its citizens cheering from the stands and at watch parties. Some of the biggest ones are held at Club France, the country's official hospitality house for the Games. The CBC's Heather Hiscox went to check it out.
This is the hottest ticket in town right now. Admission to Club France. Here, it's all about celebrating Les Bleus. Every athlete, every medal, and there's been a mountain of those, which is exactly according to plan. France has set a goal of a top 5 finish overall. Take in this incredible scene. This is what happens every time they solve races. He's won 4 gold medals so far in swimming.
Really trying to enjoy every moment. I guess the 4 a.m. prelims was kind of crazy for me. It was just like shocking. 15,000 people just screaming my name was insane. So it was a really good feeling.
C'était juste magique de le voir en vrai et de se dire qu'il a 4 médailles d'or.
Franchement, quelle chance d'être à Paris, de pouvoir vivre les Jeux de Paris. C'est le bonheur. It was the same for Teddy Riner, who lit the cauldron and then won his 3rd Olympic gold in judo, and the crowd went wild. Absolument dingue, said all the social media posts. Totally crazy. If they're looking to inspire the next generation French Olympians, it's working. No matter for people who don't have tickets for the Olympic events, here at Club France, they still get the Olympic experience. Heather Hiscox, CBC News, Paris.
And to celebrate the Olympic Games, CBC Windsor has limited edition pins to commemorate Paris 2024, just like the one I'm wearing right here. To get one of your own, we want to hear about your favorite Olympic memory over the years. You can tell us about it by texting us at 519-984 2051 or email us at windsor@cbc.ca. We'll draw the winners random throughout the games. Remember to put Olympic memory in the subject line. Well, that's it for us here at CBC Windsor News. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, for news anytime, head to our website, cbc.ca/Windsor. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you here tomorrow night.